very special for our team, for our seniors. You know, to go out having never lost to UCLA obviously is a big deal. They'll remember the rest of their lives. And but just really excited for our fans and our players, for everybody in the Trojan family. And obviously we know, having been here before, how critical this game is, how important this game is to so many people. And it's one thing to win the game, but it's another thing to play really, really well. So just really proud of our guys. Not many penalties, no turnovers in a game like that. I thought our guys played with great composure. And there's all kinds of obviously statistical stories within the game. But it was really just a team win with some great individual effort, but guys playing together for each other. And probably the best part about the game was the second half. You know, you guys that were here before have seen those type of games when we were here last time, and we come out a little flat and screw around in the second half, and all of a sudden, you know, you just win by 21 or something. So was really pleased how they responded to a halftime locker room that really challenged them. You know, they have nothing else. You know, there was no more games. There's no bowl games. There's nothing more for them to do. There's nothing to rest for, to put the backups in. You know, let's finish this thing off and send a statement, you know, about this team and who they are. So really, probably more pleased with the second half, especially to be able to preserve the shutout.
You sound like you may have been pretty vocal in the locker room after the game. What did you tell the guys?
Not that much, really. Our seniors for years here, for I guess it'd be 10 years now, have always spoken on the night before in the team meeting. And last night I asked them, you know, are you guys ready to talk? And they get up, and they usually, all the guys over the years did this. And it's a really neat deal because they take a couple minutes to talk about being a Trojan and what they went through and coming from a freshman to a senior and some of them 5 years. And it was interesting last night. They said, we don't want to do that. They said that that's not what we're taught. That's not what this is about. Every game is the same. And no game is different. And so there was no talk about this being their last game or any of that, which was really neat. They said, Coach, after we take care of the opponent, we want to talk after the game, because every game is the same. And so I thought that was really neat and really special. So that's why it took so long in there.
Were you involved in the T-shirts being made or being put in their lockers?
I didn't do it personally. I knew that it was going on, you know, during the week. You know, if we were fortunate to win the game, that they were doing that. They're just trying to. It's a great job by Pat, really. Pat was trying to do as much as he can. I know he asked. I don't know what the response has been. He's asked the league, can we get rings, hats, shirts? He's tried everything, or the gifts that they would normally get, the stipends or gifts they would normally get for the conference championship. And so I think it was really neat to see him really push that while I concentrated on the game.
How personally did the guys take the comments from you guys about the caffeine flows? Because it certainly didn't appear that way on the scoreboard.
Well, I think they took it very personal, and there's no other way around that. You know, that's a pretty strong statement to make. And, you know, so I know our guys, our players took that very personal. And, you know, I don't know, did it motivate them? I don't know any of that. You'd have to ask them. But it was talked about a lot, and not much by me at all. It was talked about by the players, and I think they really felt disrespected.
How did you feel about it?
I didn't care. It didn't have, to me, it had nothing to do with the game, and I don't care what other people said, just like Nick Holt before the Washington game. None of that matters. This is about us going and playing well and preparing really well. And with the challenge of Thanksgiving and the different schedule and stuff, I thought our players did a good job, and our coaches sacrificed a lot. You know, they wanted to make sure we won this game. Won a lot of family time this week. It was about this game.
This rivalry has
we have plenty of family time now.
This rivalry has enough motivation, but once Colorado won, UCLA knew they were going to be going to Oregon. Did you sense that enhanced your kids' motivation?
No, I don't think so. I was actually rooting for the game to go that way, just hoping that they would have some excitement, you know, in their hotel last night, you know, talking about, hey, we get to go to this, and just a distraction. Anything in sports, obviously, as a coach, you're trying to limit distractions. And so I didn't think that would happen. I didn't think Colorado would go on the road and be able to do that, but the fact they did that was really good. I actually watched the last part of the game right before I went to practice, rooting for that, because I was just hoping it would be a distraction to them and something for them to talk about, and their head coach to release a statement about, you know, while we were just sitting there focused.
When will you talk to Matt in terms of the potential of what's good for Matt, and the other side, obviously, what's great for the university, the potential of coming back and going to a Rose Bowl?
Yeah, I think he wants to take a little bit of time. He'll be busy here going to New York pretty soon, I'm sure. And, you know, when he gets back, we'll sit down. I don't think there's a rush for it.
Why?
I don't, you know, I know I'm probably not supposed to say this, but unless he just wants to do it to be a special Trojan, he ain't coming back. I mean, who's playing better than that in the country? You're an NFL team, and I've said it all year. Now he has the pieces around him doing it. How do you not draft that kid? Knowing what a player he is and then knowing what the kid is. He's going up there in top 5.
But Matt Leinart wasn't much different. Do you draw any comparisons when Matt was a junior?
Well, I think one of the things, whenever people discuss when guys stay and losing money, I think that you can't do that. And I know that you guys write about everything. Everybody says, well, Matt Leinart was going to get drafted. Nobody said that. Nobody said Matt Leinart was going in the top 3 picks, but everybody writes it and assumes he lost money by going 9 or 10, whatever he did that year. So, we don't use that. It gets thrown at us, well, Matt stayed and then he lost money. There's no proof of that. The last time I checked, there only heard one team ever, Carolina, come out and say we're going to draft Andrew a year ago. Nobody ever does that. And so there's no telling where Matt would have went.
So where's the proof that Barkley's going to go in the top 5 then? There's no telling.
Where you been the last 4 hours? I know you'll give him a C or something like that somehow. The guy just set every record in this school. Without a bowl game, he just threw for more touchdowns than anybody in the history of USC in a single season. With a bunch of babies.
So Lane, have you given up on keeping Matt then?
No, I haven't given up because, like I said, remember what I just said. Unless he decides to do something that's just a special Trojan because of who he is and doesn't care about the money, this is not going to be a deal where, he's going to go in the middle, he's going to go late in the first or something like that. He's every bit ready to go to the NFL. It's just going to be a decision, does he want to do something just really unique? And he might be the kid to do that. I think 90% of kids would not.
He was the first guy to address the media after sanctions. How special has he been for you as a head coach, just around the program?
Yeah, I know this probably sounds weird, and I thought about it this week, and I probably shouldn't say this. I look up to Matt Barkley, and I know he's younger than me and everything. Matt Barkley's been through a lot of adversity now. I mean, for a kid at 19, I believe, to go in front of all you guys when basically all his dreams about football were taken away, no bowl games, transfers, sanctions, all this stuff. New head coach, new president, new athletic director. There ain't many 19s, there ain't many 39-year-olds that can do that, let alone 19-year-olds. So he's just unbelievable, and obviously goes back to his awesome parents.
You were talking about, it doesn't matter all that much what other people would say about you, but today a lot of people were saying you guys might be the only team in the country that could challenge somebody like an LSU as far as you've come as fast. What do how good could this team be right now? How good could they be in another month?
It doesn't do any good, really. It's not going to happen, and we worry about what we can control. Our goal's always been to win every game that we can play. It's why the second half was really important to me. To see them do that. That's not easy to do. You got nothing to play for. The game's almost pretty much over, as you can tell. It's conceded, and they just kept playing their hearts out. That goal line stand down there to stop them down there to preserve the shutout. That's special memories for those guys. They're going to be telling their grandkids someday about 50 to nothing.
What do you do to finish the season off the way?
You feel like you could be 1 or 2 in the country?
I don't know enough to know. I don't watch all those others. I know all the Associated Press voters watch everybody. They got that. They can figure that out. I don't watch enough to know.
What does it do to be able to finish the season off the way, be able to finish the season off this way, and with the scholarship limits now starting to hit?
Well, it was really special. Nothing to do with that. We're excited. We actually
going forward.
Yeah, the way I look at it, we're excited. We're coming out of the dark. We're coming out of it. We're getting to go play in the bowl game next year. And we're getting to go recruit. We're getting to go sit on couches. Remember now, we've sat on couches for the last 2 years with people reading our sanctions and saying, you're not going to bowl games. You got nothing to play for if you go there. And these Marquise Lees and Robert, all these kids kept coming. Now we get to go into the house, sit on that couch without those negatives surrounding us. So we're excited. We're hitting the road tomorrow. And if you remember 1 year ago today, I don't know if it's the exact date, but 1 year ago this game, I sat in this same setting over there in the Rose Bowl and said, today we're going to make sure this never happens again. And that was after the 8-5 season. We're going to get this roster fixed. And we're going to do every single thing it takes every day. We hit the road recruiting that next morning. Coaches got on flights. We're doing the same thing tomorrow. We'll be in homes tomorrow. And now we're going to go to the next level of this and make this roster like it used to be.
Well, Lane, for the past year, you've talked about the clouds hanging over the program. Are the clouds completely gone now?
Well, I don't think so, because there's going to be a lot of discussion, I'm sure, over the next couple of weeks. What bowl would they have went to, and would they have gone back up to Eugene and won again, and all those things. So I think there'll still be a little bit of that talk around it. I think for our fans and players, a lot of those are gone.
Yeah,
When did you
Matt
say to
leaves,
Rick-
if Matt
when
leaves,
did you
what
say
kind
to
of
Rick?
shape, what kind of shape was the feeling that he leaves the program? Is there a step back, or do you feel like when Carson left in 2000, that there was somebody like a Lyron to step in? I mean, how do you feel the future, immediate future of the program is if Matt leaves?
Yeah, I feel it's great. You know, we've been through this before. And I thought Coach Carroll was the best in the world at this. You know, when those things happen, he said, so what? It's just like a guy getting injured. You know, a guy can get injured in the season opener for you. And now you got to, instead you got all off season to know who's going to be there. So this program has had those things happen before. Great players from the quarterbacks leaving early and has come back from that. From when Mike Williams was supposed to be playing in that third year, you know, comes back and wins the national championship without him. So this program's you know, it's the best program in America. It's not about one person.
Coach, when your defense gets a stop like they did on that 4th and goal, how does that kind of affect the way you guys go about things offensively? Is that supercharged?
Yeah, twice. You know, two 4th down stops down there were huge, and that really, if you go back to the bye after Arizona, you know, where we don't play the real good games, at Arizona State and then Arizona here on defense. Since then, we've played some championship defense here, you know, like it used to be. And if you do that, and you create a turnover, you stop people in the red zone, you know, a couple times down there instead of what we're doing early in the year where they're getting touchdowns. Now you get these type of games, and that's what's happened really. You know, you take away the overtime loss here in 3 overtimes. You know, you've had until Oregon came back, every game's pretty much been a blowout really. You know, that we've played. So you have to have that phase of your game, or else you get what was going on earlier in the year.